So basically, we have here this prophecy, okay, that your king is going to ride on a donkey. Okay, and
Yes.
so now the Christians are going to say that, well, this proves that Jesus is right, the fulfillment of Zechariah chapter 9, verse 9. Okay, the only problem is it works the other way, right? Zechariah was written long before Matthew was, and so really what's going on here is that Matthew added this story, you know, or what's contrived this added the story in a contrived way because they wanted to take prophecy from the Old Testament from the Tanakh and apply it to Jesus, right? So the story is written
Yes.
in to kind of retroactively associate Jesus with that prophecy that's written in Zechariah 9:9, right?
Yes.
If the timing didn't work out, right? If let's say Zechariah was written after Matthew or something like that, then maybe it would work out, right, as a proof. But it doesn't make any sense here because this prophecy in Zechariah chapter 9, verse 9 was already known, and so it's very easy to write that into the story about Jesus. So there's a lot of that in the New Testament, right? The whole idea of placing Jesus in Bethlehem for his birth also comes from the idea that the future Messiah is going to come from Bethlehem, the son of Jesse, right? The son of David is going to come from Bethlehem. So they need to place him rather than in the north, where he was probably born and raised, right, in Nazareth or at least in the Galilee. They need to place his birth in Bethlehem. So the New Testament seems to do a lot of that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that this, along with a lot of different examples, as you were saying, they kind of went out of their way to find verses that might fit and tried to have a lot of these verses, which objectively they don't really like mean much if you want to try to prove the Messiah or something like that by themselves for a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take them all together, then it'll give the person reading the New Testament the sense of, wow, this guy fulfilled a lot of prophecies.
Right.
But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, these aren't really like messianic prophets. Like the Messiah, the within the Tanakh has specific criteria, and I would argue I don't even know if did Jesus meet a single one. I'm not sure.
We'd have to go look and see what the
Yeah,
criteria
like
of
because
the
what would it
Messiah
be?
is.
Regathering the exiles is one of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Restoring the kingdom of Israel is another one, I believe. Being king over Israel is another one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, saving Israel from its enemies, for example. So I don't know how Jesus could have fulfilled these if Rome destroyed Jerusalem right after Jesus died. Wouldn't that just be the opposite?
Right. Right.
But and a lot of the time Christians say that
Hence the
within
second coming. Right.
yes already, but not yet.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
a lot of the time what Christians try to say is that all of the Messiah verses in the Tanakh should be read not as land claims, but no, because this is actually already fulfilled. You just can't see it. This is to me this provides a similar kind of like explanation to well, I have a new iPad. I just have it at my mom's house and you can't see it, but I have an iPad, trust me. That kind of
Mm-hmm.
provides the same kind of view of it because the messianic criterion Tanakh is meant to be observable. Like if the Messiah was here, I'd be able to know. I'd be able to go outside and I'd be able to see, oh, there's the kingdom of Israel. There's a king over Israel. Oh, we don't have any enemies surrounding us. Everybody would know.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody would know that the Messiah is here. But the fact that we're still arguing about this right now means that the Messiah has not come. And
Mm-hmm.
the idea of um, second like coming isn't really established from the text. This is what you'd call an explanation after the fact because
Sure.
what what I believe is this is if you believe the New Testament's account is accurate. What I believe is that the authors of the New Testament maybe they sincerely did think that Jesus was going to be the Messiah, just as I'm sure a lot of people thought Bar Kokhba was going to be the Messiah. Once he died, they didn't really want to let go of this belief. So instead, they reinterpreted their theology to be able to accommodate the belief of Jesus dying with the fact of like Jesus being the Messiah. They wanted to kind of reconcile these two things when
Mm-hmm.
normally they wouldn't be reconcilable, but they wanted to make it so that they could still say that they were correct, that they were vindicated. And
Mhm.
if you've ever read the book When Prophecy Fails, this kind of circles back to that, because a similar thing happened to the people that were kind of studied within this group. It was about this UFO cult where they said that on a very specific day that something along the lines of like flying saucers were going to come to Earth and that aliens were going to invade, things like that. And when this did not happen, instead of dropping their belief because it didn't happen, instead what they did was they reinterpreted their belief, and then they became even more certain of their belief, and they also convinced themselves, oh, we saved the world because of the existence of our group, instead of dropping their belief when it didn't occur as they believed. Instead they
Mhm.
reinterpreted it and they became even more sure of it.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.